Hello and welcome to this edition of FYI Weekly, your official source for City of Greensboro news and information. Greensboro residents have an opportunity to weigh in on how the city plans to spend nearly $60 million in Federal American Rescue Plan or ARP funds. This money is designated for COVID-19 relief and economic recovery. The federal government outlined a variety of ways these federal funds can be used to reduce the impact of the pandemic. The funds must be spent by 2026. Residents can help City Council decide how it will evaluate projects or programs in need of funding by completing an online survey. City Council will also hold an ARP public hearing during a virtual meeting taking place at 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday, September 14th. To submit a comment or to speak at the meeting, complete the City Council comment form. For more information about the ARP program, visit the city's website. The Greensboro Department of Transportation wants to work with public and private schools on a new safety program. The Safe Routes to School program supports education and events that promote walking and biking to school. Membership is free for elementary and middle schools. Schools can join at any time throughout the school year to receive complimentary program materials and request free educational resources, safety gear, and support for events. Schools interested in partnering with GDOT to host a walk-to-school event in October should submit their request at least 30 days in advance of the event. Studies show walking or biking to school allows children to arrive at school more alert and ready to learn. Families have the opportunity to get their daily physical exercise and connect with each other and the community. Additionally, fewer vehicles in the pickup lane saves time and money, reduces road congestion and harmful emissions. Safe Routes to School is funded through a grant from the North Carolina Department of Transportation. For more information, visit the city's website. The Greensboro Parks and Recreation Department, in partnership with Summit Rotary Club, is accepting nominations for its Student Improvement Awards. One Guilford County middle or high school student will be honored each month for overcoming personal obstacles and making progress in school. Nominations are due by 5 p.m. on the last day of each month from now through April 2022. The application is available online. Winners receive a $100 gift card, a plaque, and they're honored at the Rotary Club's monthly luncheon. They were also eligible for the Student of the Year award. The adult who nominates the student will receive a $50 gift card. Nominations can be submitted by anyone who maintains regular contact with the student and has observed the student's improvement. Someone who works with the student through a nonprofit or other government agency can also submit a nomination. For more information about the Student Improvement Award, call 336-373-7617. The city developed a partnership with Cone Health to share a series of brief and informative videos designed to inspire you to make better choices when it comes to healthy living. Following these tips is an easy way to help each of us improve our quality of life. Let's take a moment to check out today's news for your health.
Coronavirus is in the community and we have to adjust to its presence, but it doesn't mean you can't live your lives. We just want you to be safe. A lot of people are beginning to go back out and do things, so let's talk about some ways to stay safe. When you're out in public, it's important that you always bring your mask. A helpful tip is to just go ahead and mark the outside of your mask with a marker. That way you can keep track of which side is outside and which side is inside. It's very important that you wear your mask the proper way. You take the loop of the mask, go ahead and put that behind your ear, making sure it's secure, and then tuck it under your chin and cover your nose. When you remove your mask, you do the same thing. You do the reverse. You're going to go ahead and take the loop off your ear, and then you're going to pull your mask down. Don't grab the front of the mask. Just go ahead and pull it off of your face, and then wash your hands. If you wear a cloth mask, wash it and dry it with high heat in the dryer. Don't just keep wearing the same mask over and over. Cough into your sleeve. Still practice good hand hygiene. Wash your hands every time you touch your mask. It's not 100% of a seal, but it decreases the risk of cross-contamination if someone talks or sneezes, and also prevents you from getting someone else sick. Wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds. The proper technique is to make sure that you wash from the fingertips all the way to your wrist, allowing your hands to get in full contact with the soap, lathering completely and rinsing. Items like pens, doorknobs, keyboards, remote controls, we call those high contact surfaces. Bring your own pen, save yourself some time with having to decontaminate everything. Also clean off your steering wheel. Many of us eat in the car and we're rushing, so we eat our meal, touch the steering wheel, we touch our cell phones, and we can also contaminate ourselves that way. So wash your hands often and make sure that you are using your hand sanitizer when you're out and about. If you choose to wear gloves, they're single-use items, so you want to discard your gloves, not touching multiple surfaces because you'll contaminate everything. When out in public or with groups larger than 5 or 10 people, you always want to maintain social distancing. That means that you maintain about 6 feet between you and the next person when possible. It's also important to avoid crowded spaces when you can. Many places are beginning to limit how many people they let into stores, but you could do that on your own by just scanning the room and then waiting until the crowd passes. If you have symptoms of coronavirus, stay home. Call one of the many clinics at Cone Health and you can do a virtual visit, and we'll talk with you about testing. Coronavirus is in our community, so as we adjust to this new normal, we want you to continue to live your lives. Just to remember to keep safe, keeping each other protected by following these tips.
The city has a solution for disposing of those hard-to-recycle items piling up at your house, and there's a new tennis program being offered to players in wheelchairs. We'll have those stories and more news coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. The city of Greensboro is partnering with St. Paul Catholic Church to host a Recycle Rodeo drop-off event. This is your chance to dispose of hard-to-recycle items. The Recycle Rodeo will take place from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday, September 18th in the church parking lot. This free event is open to all Greensboro and Guilford County residents. Items you can recycle include sensitive documents with a 5-box limit, batteries, paint, cleanser, pesticides, fertilizer, gasoline, electronic devices, and styrofoam. Items will be recycled or properly and safely disposed of. The city's recycling education team will also be on site to provide information about recycling and waste reduction. St. Paul Catholic Church is located at 2715 Horsepen Creek Road. Download the GSO Collects app to use the Waste Wizard to search items to find out if they should be trashed, recycled, or disposed of differently. Creative Greensboro, the city's Office for Arts and Culture, announces the first recipients of the residency at the Hires program. 5 Guilford County-based groups will take up residency in the Stephen D. Hires Theater. The groups include Triad Playwrights Theater, Actors of All Abilities, Drama is Life Productions Incorporated, Royal Expressions Contemporary Ballet, and Catch Fire Collective. The residency is from November through May 2022, showcasing dramatic, musical, and dance productions. The groups will receive rent-free access to the 88-seat Black Box Theater at the Greensboro Cultural Center. Greensboro Creative Economy Officer Ryan Deal said the Greensboro Cultural Center has long been a place that provides critical support to creative organizations. These programs will draw new and diverse individuals, organizations, and audiences into the space. For more information about upcoming performances and tickets, visit Creative Greensboro's website. Greensboro Parks and Recreation is partnering with the Guilford Regional Tennis Association to introduce Wheel Serve Piedmont. This Paralympic sport is a new wheelchair tennis program for adults. People with spinal cord injuries or amputated limbs are welcome. Wheelchair tennis follows the same rules as the original tennis game, except the ball is allowed to bounce twice. Free tennis clinics will be held from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. on Wednesdays starting on September 29th and ending on October 27th. A program kickoff jamboree and volunteer information session will take place at 2 p.m. on Sunday, September 12th at the Deep River Recreation Center courts located on Skeet Club Road in High Point. The program is supported by We'll Serve North Carolina, a nonprofit community tennis association. Players can choose to compete at the recreational or competitive level. For more information about adaptive and inclusive recreation programs, call 336-373-2626. Outdoor gatherings can be more eventful when the warm glow of a fire pit is added, but this could pose a danger if the pit isn't properly extinguished when the party is over. Coming up after the break, we'll check in with fire educator Dee for her life-saving tips on fire pits. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. The Consumer Product Safety Commission reports thousands of injuries related to fire pits or outdoor heaters. What's most alarming is 25% of the people treated in emergency rooms were younger than 5 years old. Joining me now to tell us about the do's and don'ts of outdoor heating is Dee Shelton. She is the Fire and Life Safety Educator with the Greensboro Fire Department. Hello, Dee. Welcome back.
Thank you, Carla. Nice to be here.
Thank you for joining me again. So let's talk about fire pits. Are they allowed in Greensboro?
Fire pits are allowed in Greensboro as long as, of course, there are some stipulations that we need to follow that have regard to the size, how close are they to a structure. So, you know, you want to make sure that you're not building it too big, because when we get too big, it creates more heat. Now we have a bigger problem. So you want to keep it at least 3 feet diameter, no higher than about a 2-foot flame. That just kind of keeps it under control and keeps it from getting on anything, you know, the flame getting too big and reaching our structures, trees, things like that that could cause a bigger problem.
So you said building a fire pit. What about the pre-made version you buy at the store? Is that
typically
a fire pit?
The pre-made versions are going to already follow the code just because they are built for that purpose, and that code is pretty much standard. And then, of course, as you get into your local communities, they can have their own rules and regulations, but pretty much they follow that size range.
And the number of injuries from a fire pit is very alarming, as I mentioned before. Now we're going into the fall season, just around the corner. Can the weather have any impact on a fire pit?
Absolutely. Of course, dry. We're coming into fall. Everybody's getting excited. We're wanting to do s'mores and sitting out by the fire pit with our, marshmallows or whatever. And so you want to make sure that there's no dry leaves. Any of the debris, the leaves on the trees are going to start changing. Things will dry out. So make sure you're away from anything dry like that as far as with the fall season. A lot of times people don't realize that a fire can create its own atmosphere, weather atmosphere. The bigger fires are like your wildland fires. They really can create a huge weather, a change in weather in that area. But even in a small area, they create their own little atmospheric turbulence with air. So if you're putting things on there such as paper, which we should not do, leaves, which we should not do, those embers, that heat turbulence picks it up and it can carry it over, to a neighbor's roof or in other trees, another structure, and now we could have a fire from that. So you want to make sure that what you're burning is meant to be in the fire pit and not the things that we don't want you burning.
Okay, and you just mentioned falling leaves. We're coming into that time of the year when people are going to start raking, getting all their yard debris. Clearly you do not want those put into the fire pit.
Right, and it's for that very reason. The city offers a pickup service, so if you're cleaning your yard, trimming back and pruning, raking leaves, all those things, you want to make sure that you're just putting it out on the street. They're going to come along and get that up for you, so you don't have to worry about it.
And what's the best way to dispose of or extinguish the fire pit fire?
Definitely if you're going to have your fire pit, you light it off, make sure you've got a hose or a bucket of water, something nearby that's a quick grab if you need it, if it gets out of control.
Okay, so don't just leave it burning and expect it to
you want to make
fade.
sure you've got it doused. Just like with a campfire, you want to make sure you've doused it before you've gone to bed or left it. And even because those hot embers are some of the injuries the next morning, a child has touched those hot embers. So you want to make sure that you've doused that and put it out completely.
Okay, well, once again, you have made us aware of the dangers, and this time associated with outdoor fires. So I hope we do avoid injuries this fall season.
Yes.
And look forward always to your next visit.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Stay tuned for some useful information about Greensboro as we tell you something about the city. That's coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. One way to stay informed about decisions that impact our city is by attending or tuning in to City Council meetings at 5:30 p.m. on the first and third Tuesday of the month. The fourth Tuesday is reserved for a meeting as needed. In response to the growing cases of the COVID-19 Delta variant and to prevent its possible spread, all meetings of the Greensboro City Council will be conducted virtually. Until further notice, meetings will be conducted via Zoom. The Greensboro City Council meetings are broadcast right here on GTN. The meetings are also streamed live on the city's website and on Roku. When in person, the City Council meets on level 2 of the Melvin Municipal Office Building, located at 300 West Washington Street. To review the council meeting schedule and agendas, please visit the city's website. Here's an opportunity to learn a little something about the city. The City of Greensboro is accepting new and unwrapped school supplies or a cash donation to support the Guilford Education Alliance Teacher Supply Warehouse. This will be in exchange for payment of parking tickets issued now through October 31st. Donations must be made within 30 days of the infraction, and handicap parking violations are not included in this program. School supplies should be delivered to the Greensboro Parking Office, located in the main entrance of the Melvin Municipal Office Building on West Washington Street. An online cash donation may be made directly to the warehouse. Citation holders must show a receipt to verify the donation or the value of the school supplies, which must be equal to or greater than the fine. This marks the third year the City of Greensboro has partnered with Guilford Education Alliance to support local teachers. The supply warehouse allows Guilford County school teachers to shop for items at no cost up to 4 times a year. Suggested donation items include glue sticks, crayons, number 2 pencils, spiral notebooks, loose leaf notebook paper, and antibacterial wipes, just to name a few. Coming up after the break, we'll showcase our department spotlight, but first, meet the people who boomeranged back to Greensboro.
My name is Phoebe Murray, and I am a consultant in workforce retention and recruitment. I came back from the Triangle area because my family was ready to settle down and buy a home. Charles and I are fortunate that we're both primarily remote workers, so we have the flexibility to work from home at this point in our lives when we're trying to spend as much time as possible together with our family and watching our daughter grow up.
My name is JT Job, and I'm a software developer at Innovations for Learning. I left Greensboro in 2005, and it's changed so much since then. Greensboro is great for my career. Since I work remotely as a developer, there's a fantastic community of people working at a co-working space downtown. I love living in Fisher Park because it's so beautiful. The architecture, the trees, everything that you get with the historic district. And we have the beautiful actual park in the middle of the neighborhood that's just a great place to go walking with your dog.
My family and I love to just get out for walks in the neighborhood. We pop into Deep Roots and pick up groceries to cook for dinner. We love strolling around Fisher Park. It's just a beautiful neighborhood to live in.
I like to joke that this is the second pandemic our home's been through. It was built in 1913, so we know it's over 100 years old. My wife Keela and I are expecting our first, and we couldn't be happier to be bringing her up in this beautiful house in this great neighborhood.
Welcome back. The City of Greensboro has more than 20 departments and divisions committed to serving you, our residents and visitors. Let's go behind the scenes in our department spotlight. The ticket office for the Stephen Tanger Center for the Performing Arts is officially open. The Tanger Center ticket office is located adjacent to the Phillips Hall lobby, and its regular operating hours are from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. Patrons may purchase tickets for all Tanger Center events, as well as events hosted at the Greensboro Coliseum Complex. The Tanger Center's first public event featured Greensboro native and Grammy Award winner Rhiannon Giddens and friends. Tickets for Tanger Center and Greensboro Coliseum Complex events are also available online at Ticketmaster.com. For the lineup of Tanger Center upcoming events, please visit the center's website. Straight ahead on the other side of the break is this week's Way to Go GSO shout out. Stay with us. As we draw to a close, we always want to end on a positive note with our Way to Go GSO shout out. This week's shout out goes to the city of Greensboro. Wallet Hub ranked Greensboro number 3 in the nation for best cities to drive in. This is up from our number 4 ranking in 2020. Each year, Wallet Hub compares the 100 largest U.S. cities on 30 key indicators of driver friendliness. Hats off to the Greensboro Department of Transportation for taking great pride in providing quality, reliable roads to make Greensboro a great place to navigate. As the Delta variant continues to spread, please remember to wear your mask, wait 6 feet apart, and wash your hands often. That concludes this edition of FYI Weekly, but you can easily stay connected to the latest city news by linking to us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Alexa users can subscribe to our 5-minute flash briefings, which airs on 90.1 FM and 100.7 FM. Be sure to download our weekly podcast, Talk City Greensboro, and now GTN is streaming on Roku. For all of us here at the City of Greensboro, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.